If you could believe it, there are indeed some mobs that have yet to be discussed on this channel, and frogs are definitely one of them buggers. They hip, they hop, and by golly, they bloody need to learn to keep their tongues to themselves. So, let's hop to it ourselves. Frogs spawn from ponds, but not just any pond, green ponds. Green ponds are typically found in grassland biomes, with plenty more individually dotted about the world in forests and such, which just act as moose goose spawns practically. And purple ponds are primarily in swamps, and they don't actually spawn frogs, so do not waste your time. Furthermore, and this is pretty obvious, but what have you, once the white stuff has fallen, all ponds on the surface are frozen over. So that means no more frogs, of course. But a quick note on frogs spawning from ponds themselves, they do so very, very quickly. But how do these little buggers work exactly? Well, they are only active during the day, and technically they are pretty darn non-hostile, albeit they are aggressively territorial. You get too close or they get too close, and they'll hop right into your business and get to licking. Not only do they deal 10 damage each tonguing, but they will straight up steal the very first item within your inventory and knock it to the ground. Weapons, resources, you name it. So be mindful there. But could one kite a frog, or just simply take the licking and murder them quick? Absolutely. 100 health is nothing. But remember now, this is but one or two of the green Hippy-Hoppities. Frogs are like beefalo or pigmen, in that you attack one, and the rest are gonna come mess you up. Depending on where you commit such amphibian genocide, you can imagine just how quickly one could get overwhelmed. Especially considering that frogs are one of the only mobs in the game that really can't get stun locked, but I can guarantee that they can stun lock you. And I don't know about you, but one tongue is enough for me. So skedaddling out of there is a fine option, cause frogs kinda lose interest pretty darn quickly. But why waste the potential? Honestly, one of the best options for handling large amounts of frogs is still just basic traps, as not many mobs actually attack frogs without influence, and the very little ones that do straight up munch the loot, so they're just not ideal. Frogs that get trapped die instantly, so attacking one and then luring the rest to a trap farm of sorts could be immensely beneficial, and it is very, very easy. But are frog legs even worth it? Well, not by their lonesome, no. Uncooked, they will restore the whopping 0 health, 12.5 hunger, and minus 10 sanity. While cooked frog legs ain't that much better at 1 health, 12.5 hunger, and 0 sanity. So yep, not that great. Oh, and forgive the very sudden change of character and scenery, as I could not get the Show Me mod to work very properly in some new worlds, but what have you. All that said, frog legs can not only be dried on drying racks to turn them into the far more useful small jerky, a process that only takes a day, mind you. They too can be given to a bird to produce eggs, which opens up plenty of recipe opportunities for your pleasure. Oh, and speaking of recipes, frog legs are needed in a couple of them. Like Froggle Bunwitches here, a very easy and accessible recipe that restores the respectable 20 health, 37.5 hunger, and 5 sanity each munch. Truly not bad at all. But stick to the easy recipes, cause who in the bloody heck is gonna get mole worms for this crap? And be careful to toss twigs in too, because you might get kebabs instead. My advice, just stick to frog legs and a couple veggie fillers. But the second recipe is Warley's very own Fish Gordon Bleu. Sad that we essentially only have one true crockpot dish for frog legs. However, Fish Gordon Bleu here is unique enough to warrant the exclusivity. Not only does it restore 20 health, 37.5 hunger, and minus 10 sanity, eating one sets your wetness to 0, plus grants immunity to further wetness for 5 whole minutes. So who would have guessed that frogs literally stuffed into fish could be so gross, yet so good? But before we wrap up today by talking about frogs literally literally falling from the sky, let's quickly mention other sources of both frogs and their loot. Careful when rummaging through tumbleweeds, as there's a chance you'll get a licking for it, as yes, live frogs can spawn from tumbleweeds. Merms are a source of frog legs if you would prefer to murder bigger, badder green things on occasion, but let us never forget the biggest frog of them all, Toadstool. And funny enough, he only drops a single frog leg, so definitely not the most efficient option out there. But yes, frogs falling from the sky, aka frog rain. Frog rain is a weather event that has a chance to occur come springtime, and one that can have an interesting effect on the world, because not only do frog rains grow in intensity each time they fall, the frogs that come with them never leave unless dealt with. This includes at night, very much unlike normal frogs. So, it is highly advised that one leaves their base as soon as possible to avoid a froggy invasion. But how can we handle all these bloody things? Well, it is spring, so why not rush to your horny beefalo and have them do your dirty work? Not only will some beefalo actually lose the fight, which just means additional loot, this will save you from having to make a million traps yourself. But why not have a little more fun along the way? Frogs from Frog Rain can be so darn plentiful that even giants will be overwhelmed. Moose Goose is likely your best target, given that she can only attack a single frog at a time, but trust me, even the likes of Dragonfly or Bee Queen can struggle with these guys if you manage it. So who knew? Licking things was so enjoyable. And there you have it, everyone. A guide on the constants, local, hoppy thieves, frogs. One last mention about frog rain, however. It is preceded by abnormally heavy and loud rain. So keep your ears open to avoid tongue catastrophe. Thanks for watching. Well wishes to all. Don't get licked. Or, do if you're into that sort of thing. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.